They maxed out my credit card for a baby shower I wasn't even invited to, then bought my brother a luxury car with my graduation bonus. Appreciate the car. But rent still due, Mom said. I said nothing. I just froze my accounts and contacted the bank. At 3:12 a.m., the street cameras caught what happened next. When I saw the $4,300 charge labeled Baby Bliss Events, I assumed it was fraud. Maybe someone cloned my card, used it for some high-end shower with champagne fountains and personalized onesies. I didn't expect the explanation to come from my sister. Oh, yeah, that was for Ashley's shower. It just made sense to use your card. You're not coming anyway, right? I wasn't invited. Not missed. Not considered. They'd planned it for weeks. Custom cookies, a venue by the lake, a catered brunch. Every part of it ran through my name, my card, without my knowledge. I didn't argue. I just said, okay, smiled, and walked out of the group chat. That was on a Tuesday. By Friday, I got another alert. $18,000 transfer to White Glove Imports. A brand new BMW 3 Series. Under my name. A gift from my graduation bonus, one I never saw, to my younger brother. Appreciate the car, my mom said over the phone, like it was a sock or a used blender. Then added, but rent's still due, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't ask for an explanation. I opened my banking app, froze every account, called the credit card company, flagged the car purchase as unauthorized. At 3:12 a.m., I got the notification, multiple login attempts blocked. Then a call from the fraud department. Then silence. But street cameras don't lie. I watched the footage the next morning. A man, tall, hoodie, familiar, trying the door to my building. My brother. 3:12 and 47 seconds a.m. Looking straight into the camera. It didn't start with the baby shower, or the car, or even the graduation bonus I never touched. It started years ago. It started the first time I paid for pizza because you make the most. The first time I volunteered to cover utilities when Dad's freelance gig dried up. The first time my sister said, well, you're single, what else would you spend it on? And everyone laughed like it was a compliment. And I let them. I laughed too. I even felt proud. Thought being needed meant being loved. Turns out, I was just convenient. Looking back, I see it all now. The system they built, and the role they gave me. Not the son. Not the brother. The resource. The lifeline. The insurance policy they didn't have to renew. I went through my texts that night. My emails. My banking history. Line after line of deductions and transactions I never approved, some I barely remembered. $1,200 for a family vacation I wasn't even told about. $600 for a bridesmaid's dress. My sister's, not mine. Monthly charges for a family gym membership I never used, where my brother checks in twice a week and tags me in the posts. Then came the memory. The one that shifted everything. 2 years ago, my dad had heart palpitations. Rushed to the ER. I was out of state, drove 6 hours to be there. Sat in that ugly green chair by his bed holding his chart like I knew what I was doing. My mom arrived last, stopped in the doorway and said, oh, you're here. Not, thank you. Not, we needed you. Just surprise, like she assumed I wouldn't come and wouldn't be missed. And then she turned to my sister and said, thank God you were calm. He always panics. They don't see me. They never have. What they see is what I give. Money. Coverage. Convenience. Even the BMW, my BMW, was never framed as a gift. It was the least I could do, because my brother was starting fresh. Fresh from what? He lives at home. He's failed 3 majors. He once asked if HTML was a password type. But he's charming. Always has been. The baby. The golden boy. And I was the fixer. The shadow in the background keeping the lights on. They fed off that. And I let them. Until now. Because as I pulled credit statements from folders and flagged fraudulent charges, I realized the truth wasn't in the numbers. It was in the pattern. Every time I gave, they took more. Every time I stayed silent, they heard compliance. Every time I said yes, they stopped asking. I wasn't family. I was funding. And the moment I stopped giving, I stopped existing. They didn't call when the accounts froze. Didn't ask why I flagged the car purchase. They tried to relog into my bank portal. They tried to change passwords. They emailed my assistant pretending to be me. They weren't confused. They were scrambling. Because the system had crashed. And they didn't know how to reboot it without me. That night, I sat alone at my kitchen table with a printout of every transaction tied to their names. I crossed each one out with a red pen like I was grading an exam they failed without studying. Ashley Shower $4,300. White Glove Imports $18,000. Langley Spa and Wellness $760, my mom's name. Dapper Gents Barbers $220 recurring, my brother's beard trims. Recurring. Like clockwork. Like entitlement. And then I found the kicker. A note in my mom's handwriting, scrawled in the corner of a grocery list from last month. Check if Chase can up his card limit. We'll need it for the cruise. The cruise I didn't know about. The one scheduled the week of my birthday. No invite. No mention. No shame. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because of the raw absurdity. They were planning to spend my money celebrating without me. Again, that was when I stopped thinking like a son and started thinking like a strategist. I started at midnight. Not because I was hiding, because I wanted silence. Total operational silence. I opened my laptop, logged into every platform they never bothered to ask how I set up. The smart locks on their house? Registered under my company email. The cloud cameras they used to check packages, babysitters, even neighborhood raccoons? Mine. The insurance plan? Tied to my employer ID. The family phone plan? 5 lines. For weren't mine. Everything they relied on, everything they assumed just existed, was scaffolding I built. So I started tearing it down. First, the BMW. I called the dealer. The vehicle was purchased on a corporate bonus tied to my employment. It was never gifted. I have proof of ownership, and the charge was unauthorized. They paused. Check the records. It's still registered to you, the rep said. Want us to initiate a reclaim? Yes, I said. Tonight. At 2:46 a.m., a flatbed truck rolled down my parents' street. The dash cam caught it all, hooking, winching, towing. My brother must have heard it. He ran outside barefoot, screaming. I didn't watch the whole feed. I only watched him go silent when the truck pulled away. Second, the accounts. I logged into Chase, Wells Fargo, Amex, and froze every authorized user. Removed every auto payment. The baby shower bill? Flagged as unauthorized. The gym fees? Reversed. The cruise deposit? Disputed and credited back. Then I opened my master list. Everything they touched. Streaming? Canceled. Family Amazon Prime? Removed all household users. Cloud photo storage where they backed up family albums? Archived and locked. Apple ID subscriptions tied to my card? Gone. I wasn't angry. I was precise. Next, the family phone plan. I sent a transfer of ownership request to each user. My mom, dad, sister, brother. They had 72 hours to accept. If they didn't, their numbers would go dark. And then, I made the real move, the mortgage. They didn't know I was a cosigner. Didn't remember or pretended not to. They needed me to qualify for the refinance 2 years ago. Promised it was temporary. I called the lender. Explained I wanted to initiate a separation of financial responsibility. The rep, Kyle, recognized me from the last time I helped recover their internal server logs. You've got a file on this, he said. Yes, I replied. And I want out. Kyle triggered a reassessment. If they can't carry the load solo, he said, they'll need to restructure or risk default. Then let them restructure, I said. My part was done. I shut the laptop, stood up, stretched. It was 5:12 a.m. By 7:40, the call started. First, from my brother. The car's gone, he snapped. Did you do this? I didn't answer. Then my mom. The cameras aren't working. The app says the account was deactivated. Still, silence. Then a group chat message. Why can't I log into Netflix? I watched it all unfold from my kitchen, coffee in hand. Notifications lighting up like warning flares. My dad's voicemail came in an hour later. Is this some kind of message? This is childish. Grow up. Grow up. That's what they say when you finally stop being convenient. By noon, it escalated. An email from my mom's friend. Hey, Sharon's panicking. Says you're cutting her off? What's going on? I replied once, this is not your business. Then I blocked her. 2:03 p.m., a text from my sister. I need the login for Hulu. Finals week. Seriously. I typed, then deleted. Then typed again. You're not my dependent. Sent. She replied with a thumbs down emoji. Then a sarcastic emoji. By sunset, they knew. The system was dead, and I had killed it. But I wasn't done. Because what they didn't know, what they never knew, was just how much ran through me. The family's tax accountant? I referred him. Their digital security suite? Mine. Even the custom filters on their email, set up when Dad kept getting phishing scams about his Bitcoin wallet coded by me. I started extracting everything. Admin access, revoked. Encryption keys, changed. Vendor contacts, scrubbed. By the next morning, their digital life was a shell. Then came the panic. My mom called 21 times. Left voicemails that started as confusion and ended in rage. You don't do this to family. We made you. We trusted you. My dad didn't call. He sent a letter. Typed. Formal. We request the immediate restoration of all services disrupted under your management. If not, we will pursue legal action. I laughed. Not out of cruelty. Just awe. He thought this was a contract. He thought I was a vendor. That's when I forwarded everything to my lawyer. Every unauthorized charge, every text, every screenshot of logged usage and refusal to acknowledge my role. Do you want to sue? He asked. No, I said. I want them locked out. Permanently. He understood. Then I made the last call of the day. To their local hardware company. Hi. You installed a security system for the last name, residence? Yes. I'm the one who paid for it. I'm terminating the service. Effective immediately. They didn't even ask why. They didn't call to apologize. They called to threaten. The first voicemail came at 6:41 a.m. My mom. Screaming. Not crying, screaming. You're being unfair, and I can't believe you treat me this way. After everything we did for you, this? Cutting us off? Leaving us humiliated? You think we'll just sit here and take it? I didn't answer. Then the text from my dad. Return access to the accounts immediately, or I'll make sure the whole family knows who you really are. Interesting phrasing. Not, let's talk. Not, we're sorry. Just, obey, or else. At 8:14 a.m., my sister chimed in. I'm telling people you're having a breakdown. That you're spiraling again. Don't push me. That word, again. They always framed my boundaries as instability. Refusal to be used equals emotional crisis. Saying no equals mental fragility. I made no reply. That night, they switched tactics. My aunt posted a photo of the baby shower, the one I paid for but wasn't invited to. Caption. Family is everything, grateful for those who show up, not just those who pay. I almost laughed. They wanted to control the narrative. Rewrite it. Erase the receipts. But they forgot. I have the receipts. The next day, I started getting calls from numbers I didn't recognize. Friends of family. Extended cousins. Church acquaintances. Hey, your mom said you're not doing well. That you're unstable. Your dad said you were hacked. That you didn't mean to freeze everything. Your sister's worried. She said you might hurt yourself. Weaponized concern. Dressed as kindness. They weren't worried. They were laying groundwork for a smear campaign. Still, I said nothing. Silence. Cold. Strategic. Final. That's when they escalated. At 3:37 p.m., I got an email. Anonymous. No greeting. Just attachments, PDFs, screenshots, and a single line. Let's see how your employer reacts to this. They'd fabricated expense reports, mocked up fake emails, tried to frame me for misappropriation of funds at my own company. The kicker? They used an old template I wrote for them years ago to help manage their personal budget. They barely changed it. I spotted the formatting within seconds. I forwarded it all to legal. They traced the metadata back to my brother's IP. When I didn't respond, they tried again. Instagram, a story from my cousin's account. A blurry photo of me from Thanksgiving, wine glass in hand, eyes half closed. Caption. Some people need help, not a spotlight. Then my dad's turn. A Facebook post. We raised a son who forgot his roots. But family doesn't give up, even when they're betrayed. The comments poured in. Praying for you. He'll come around. Kids these days. They weren't talking to me. They were talking at me, performing grief while orchestrating chaos. Still, I stayed silent. And silence became unbearable for them. Because without a villain who yells, there's no story to twist. On the 5th day, my mom showed up, pounding on my door like it owed her money. I watched through the peephole. No makeup. Wild hair. Slippers. Holding her phone in one hand, waving a printed spreadsheet in the other. I didn't open. She screamed through the door. We needed you. We needed you, and you walked away. You think you're better than us? Then quieter. This is all Ashley's fault. She told me you were acting weird. She pushed us to use your card. She manipulated me. The pivot. From power to victimhood. From rage to blame. A full emotional circus, and I didn't even buy a ticket. Still, I didn't open. She eventually left. I checked the spreadsheet she slid under my door. It was a list of expenses with notes in red ink. Reimbursable. Family share. Agreed. Agreed. In question marks. After spending 22 grand of my money. After buying my brother a luxury car and leaving me off a guest list. At 9:14 that night, she sent one final message. You ruined this family. No period. No punctuation. Just raw venom. And I felt nothing. Not rage. Not sadness. Not triumph. Just stillness. Because for once, I wasn't being dragged into the noise. I wasn't reacting. I wasn't fixing. They weren't yelling at their son. They were yelling at their lost infrastructure. The one who held them up. And had finally walked away. They thought silence meant shame. That I wouldn't speak. Wouldn't fight. Wouldn't risk pulling down the curtain. They were wrong. I didn't write a message. I didn't send an email. I posted everything. First, the transactions. A carousel of screenshots. $4,300 for Baby Bliss events. $18,000 to White Glove imports. Confirmed delivery to Jacob, my brother, May 17th. Text from my sister. You weren't coming anyway, LOL. Chill. My mom. You don't have a family of your own. You can afford it. I added one caption. They spent my graduation bonus on a BMW. I wasn't invited to the baby shower I paid for. They called it fair. Then I sat back and watched the explosion. 10 minutes, 800 likes. 20 minutes, 100 shares. By lunch, 13,000 people knew what my family had done. But I wasn't done. Next drop. PDF of the dealership invoice. My name is sole purchaser. Notarized letter of dispute. Email confirmation of retrieval order. BMW VIN ending in 7629. Repossession confirmed. Caption. They told neighbors it was a gift from a minter. The minter was me, and I took it back. Then came the video. A clean 30-second clip from my building security feed. Timestamp, 3:12 and 47 seconds a.m. My brother. Hoodie. Trying the door code. Staring straight into the lens. No mask. No hesitation. After the accounts were frozen. After the car was reclaimed. After the silence hit. It went nuclear. Thousands of comments. DMs from strangers. This is financial warfare. You're not the villain. You're the firewall. I hope your whole family sees this. Twice. But not everyone stayed quiet. At 2:41 p.m., my mom's friend posted. It's sad when family drama plays out online, especially when people twist things. So I twisted back. I posted the spreadsheet. Every single charge tagged family use. Every password reset they tried after the locks were changed. Even the call logs from their burner attempts to reach my assistant at work. I captioned it. Not drama. Documentation. By 4:03, my dad deactivated his Facebook. By 4:17, my sister set her Instagram to private. By 4:29, my aunt deleted a passive-aggressive post from 2 weeks earlier that said, some people are only generous for attention. Then the story reached a local blogger. Finance, family, betrayal, it had teeth. She asked for a quote. I gave her 2. 1. I didn't destroy the family. I removed myself from a system where I was expected to fund the fantasy and remain invisible. 2. I was never the problem. I was the silence that kept theirs hidden. The article dropped at 6:12 p.m. Title, The Son Who Said No, How One Man Froze a Family Built on Financial Control. They didn't take it well. At 7:03, I got a group voicemail. My mom, dad, and sister. They thought they hung up, but didn't. Mom, he thinks people care. It'll die in a day. Dad, he better shut it down. We still have friends watching. Sister, if he thinks this makes him powerful, just wait. Wait for what? More lies? More threats? Because then came the final straw. An anonymous email. No body. Just the subject. How does your employer feel about hackers? Attached. Forged emails accusing me of vendor manipulation using templates I wrote for them. They were trying to nuke my career. I didn't flinch. I sent the full email thread, including metadata, to my legal team. They traced the document origin to my brother's home Wi-Fi. Game over. But I wasn't done. Because I knew what they feared most. Not exposure. Validation. So I dropped the last post. A black screen. White text. They raised me to believe silence meant love. That sacrifice meant loyalty. That helping quietly made me good. But they don't get to decide what good looks like anymore. You don't get to rewrite the story after the receipts are out. No hashtags. No names. Just truth. And this time, they couldn't screenshot it out of context. Couldn't private message it away. Couldn't tell a neighbor. He's just sensitive. Because now, the narrative wasn't theirs. The balance had shifted. For the first time in my life, I wasn't their son. I was the source of proof, of exposure, of power. And they knew it. The next day, I got one message. From my aunt. The one who said I was just bitter. Just 3 words. You went public. I replied. You went too far. They didn't come angry this time. They came rehearsed. Sunday. For 22 p.m. I saw them through the peephole, Mom in a soft sweater, Dad in a button-down he saves for funerals, and my sister holding a store-bought pie like a peace treaty. I didn't open the door. I opened the window instead. Whatever you rehearsed, I said, cut it in half. Then leave. My mom blinked. My dad forced a smile. My sister stepped forward. We're here because we don't want to fight, she said. You already did, I replied. You just lost. We were under stress, my mom offered. We said things we didn't mean. No, I cut in. You meant every word. You meant it when you said I was a failure. When you called me a burden. When you spent my money and told people I was unstable. You meant all of it. You just didn't expect me to fight back. My dad stepped closer. It's family. Things get messy. It wasn't messy, I said. It was surgical. You planned every swipe of my card. Every withdrawal. Every lie. Then came the line. The one they were saving. We just want to be a family again. I paused. Looked down at them from the second-floor window. You don't miss me, I said. You miss what I gave you. You miss the fixer. The buffer. The system. They didn't deny it. They just looked tired. We're trying, my mom whispered. No, I said. You're negotiating with the consequence. Then I gave them what they came for. The final word. The end of the show. I didn't leave because of the money. I left because the moment I stopped paying, I stopped existing. Silence. My sister looked like she wanted to cry. My dad looked like he'd aged 10 years. My mom held that pie like it weighed 50 pounds. No more access. No more platforms. No more dinners, chats, second chances. This is not estrangement. It's release. I'm not your provider. I'm not your redemption arc. I'm just done. They turned without a word. As they walked back to the car, I whispered, not loud enough for them, just for me. You didn't lose the card. You lost the cardholder. And I closed the window. Not with a slam. With relief.